Hello, third grade. Today we're going to read the next section of Chapter 5. It's 5.2, Water for Life. So let's keep reading about water. Necessary for life processes. Because all living things contain water, nothing could live without it. The kangaroo rat, which lives in the desert, is about 65% water. But the jellyfish, which lives in the sea, is about 95% water. All living things need to take in water so their bodies can perform the processes that keep them alive. Whether they're animals that live in the desert, like the kangaroo rat, or whether they're jellyfish and other animals that live in the ocean or other forms of water. Everything needs water in order to survive. Did you know you are about 65% water? Your body needs to take in about 2.5 quarts of water each day. And we get this water from the water we drink, other beverages like milk or juice that we drink, and from the food that we eat. So we don't have to just drink 2.5 quarts of water. We get the liquid that we need or the water we need from other things we drink as well as food. The driest food, baked pumpkin seeds, contains about 5% water. The food that contains the most water has a very appropriate name, and I bet you can guess it. It's right, watermelon. Watermelon is about 97% water. Now, if you do not take in enough water each day, your body cannot function as it should. Your blood uses water to help it flow throughout your body, carrying nutrients and waste products. As the body loses water throughout the day, the blood tends to become thicker and more difficult to pump. The heart must work harder to pump blood that does not have enough water. So that's why it's super important that we're drinking water in order to help our heart be able to pump the blood that we need throughout our whole body. You can live for over a month without eating food, but if you went without water, you would die in about a week. So we can't go without water for very long. Food we can definitely last longer without, but we need water. Different plants and animals need different amounts of water in order to live. Some kinds of animals, such as a jellyfish, must spend their entire lives in water. Others can go for long periods of time without drinking any water. The camel can live for months without taking a drink. God designed its body so that the camel can get the water it needs when it uses the fat it has stored in its body. And I'm sure you guys have heard about how the camel has its hump, and that hump is able to store the fat in order for it to survive. Some animals never drink, but they still need water. The kangaroo rat gets all the water it needs from the dry seeds it eats. Scientists have found that the kangaroo rat gets 2 ounces of water every 5 weeks from its food. So that kangaroo rat really never goes and gets a drink of water from a stream or a puddle, but it is able to survive because of the water that's found in the dry seeds it eats. Although they require different amounts of water, all animals would eventually die if they were forced to do without the water that they need. When you consider all the animals, plants, and people that are in the world, is it any wonder that God created so much water? We all need it, and we all need different amounts. And so God has created so much water. We looked at yesterday how 3/4 of the globe is covered with water. There's a lot of water in our world, and it's because of how much we need it. Now, let's find out just what water is. Although water is a very common substance, it is an unusual substance. In order to understand just how unique water is, we must first understand what all things around us are made of. So, all things around you that you can see are matter. Matter is anything that takes up space and has weight. So your desk, your books, those are matter. If you think about the things that might be around you right now, you might have a pencil out, that's matter. You might have some paper, that's matter. If you think about your carpet or your couch, those things are matter. So since your body has weight and takes up space, it is also matter, or it is matter also. So you are matter. There are some things which are real, but which are not matter. God is not matter. The Bible tells us he is a spirit. We find that in John 4:24. Love, wisdom, and truth are also real things, but they're not matter. None of these things take up space or have weight. Your brain, that's matter, but your mind is not. Is water matter? Think about it. Is water matter? How do we know? Well, I would say yes, water is matter, and we know that because it takes up space and it has weight. It says here, tell why each of these things is or is not matter. A thought. So your thoughts, are those matter? Do they take up space and do they have weight? No, they don't. So that would not be matter. A brick. Yep, a brick would be matter. What about an acorn? Yes, an acorn would also be matter because it takes up space and has weight. What about peace? No, that would not be matter. How about hope? Again, no, it would not be matter because it doesn't take up space and it does not have weight. All right, let's keep reading now. Just what is matter? Seeing as all things around us are matter, water is matter, we need to know just what matter is. So, all matter is made up of tiny particles called molecules. A molecule is the smallest piece of a substance that still has all the qualities of that substance. So think of a molecule as the smallest possible piece of a desk that you could have, or smallest possible piece of a piece of paper that you could have, without breaking it down so it's no longer paper. The smallest particle of water is a water molecule. Water molecules are very tiny. If you could line up 60 million molecules of water side by side, they would reach across the face of a penny. So if I have a penny here, and if I were to take 60 million molecules of water, I could line them up and they would fit here on this penny. So do you think we could see one molecule of water? That's right, no. Because if 60 million can fit on this penny here side by side, there's no way that we could see just one molecule of water. If a molecule of water is broken down into smaller particles, so where it's no longer water, the particles are no longer water. The particles which make up the molecules are called atoms. Atoms are so small that there are 500 billion trillion atoms in every teaspoonful of water. So think about this teaspoon here. If I were to pour water in there, there'd be 500 billion trillion atoms in this teaspoonful of water. Atoms are very small. A water molecule is made of hydrogen and oxygen atoms. Every water molecule is made of 2 hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen. Hydrogen and oxygen are gases found in the air. God has so designed the world that when 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen join together, they make a molecule of water. During the process of photosynthesis, a leaf uses the energy of sunlight to split water molecules into atoms of hydrogen and atoms of oxygen. The leaf uses the hydrogen to make simple sugars by combining it with carbon dioxide from the air. Sugar is made of carbon, oxygen, and hydrogen. And these 3 are also atoms. The plant releases extra oxygen into the air where it can be breathed by people and animals. And then it uses the carbon and hydrogen for other processes. This is all part of God's wonderful balance of nature. And there is more to it than this. Did you know that the cells in your body produce water every day? Your cells and the cells of animals have been designed to use the oxygen taken in by breathing to help you release energy from food. In this process, hydrogen atoms from food combine with oxygen from breathing to form water. Carbon and oxygen from the food are released as carbon dioxide. Both carbon dioxide and water molecules are released into the air when people and animals breathe out. And then what becomes of them? What do you think happens to them when they are breathed out? Well, I'm guessing that eventually they make their way back through the water cycle up into the air to form those clouds that we know of, and eventually it'll become water or snow, depending on what happens with them. So we have a little picture here. We got one hydrogen molecule or two hydrogen atoms. So we got two hydrogen to one oxygen. So these two hydrogen plus one oxygen here makes water. So we've got H2O. And you may have heard people talk about H2O. And that's where we take our two hydrogen. So we've got our hydrogen, so two hydrogen, and we combine it with one oxygen to form water. So H2O, sometimes people will use instead of saying the word water. And the reason why they say H2O is because we've got our two hydrogen plus our one oxygen to make our water molecule. So to recap here, we've got matter. And matter is things that take up space and have weight. Matter is made up of lots and lots and lots and lots of molecules. So there are lots of molecules in matter. We've got molecules and molecules and molecules. Lots and lots of molecules make up matter. So matter is what we are, things around us that take up space and have weight. And that matter is made up of many, 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 many small molecules. Molecules are made up of lots and lots of atoms. And atoms are the smallest possible piece of molecule that you can have. And there are lots and lots of atoms out there in the world. And our water is matter because it takes up space and its weight. And it's made up of lots of molecules. And those molecules of water are made up of the atoms hydrogen and oxygen. And when we have two hydrogen combined with one oxygen, they make up the molecules for water.